I'm going to just create a polygon right here because I know where I want to reflect my tukutuku when I've done it. I'm then going to just get rid of the dots. I'm also going to get rid of the labels because I don't want those showing up when I translate them or reflect them. And I'm just going to change the color of this to a black color, and I'm just going to go 75%. I'm then going to put in the segments, so I'm going to put those in now across there to give me my basic tukutuku pattern. And I'm going to again go to the property colors, and I'm going to use yellow. I'm going to change the style so that I've got a 9 thickness on the line thickness, and then I'm going to do the same going the other way. I'm going to change it, color yellow, the style again a 9. Oops, that didn't change, so I'll go back down to the properties and change the color to the yellow. I'm actually going to go back now and change the color of the polygon. I'm going to change that to brown. In actual fact, I'm going to go and change it to a brown color. I'm still going to leave it at, so that's going to be my basic pattern. I'm going to again click out of those dots that are there. I'm going to undo the labels. And actually, I'm still not happy with that color combination, so I'm going to go back to the color. I'm actually just going to change it to that sort of a brown color there. And that looks better. Now I'm going to use a second transformation tool. I'm going to do a translation because I want to basically represent this pattern on a diagonal down here. So I'm going to first of all highlight this by right clicking and just highlight, and now I'm going to move this using the translation by a vector. So I'm just going to click on that first, and then I'm going to put my vector, and I want it to move down one and across one to the left and one down. So I'm going to do that like so, and that moves that there. And I'm going to keep doing that until I've got the whole diagonal done. And I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to get rid of that, and that. And then I'm just going to do the same again. So I'm going to click on the arrow tool. I'm going to highlight this square. I'm going to click on that, and this time I'm going to go, and then I'm going to get rid of that, using this, and I'm going to go down here, get rid of the second vector. I'm going to get rid of L, and I just keep repeating this process until I've got that whole diagonal completed. Again, get rid of that. Get rid of the vector. And one final time for the repeating of the, and this is called a translation, which just means moving from a point, from one point to another in a direct line. And so now I've got my basic tukutuku design that I'm going to use, and now I'm going to use reflections to do the rest of what I want to do. So first of all, I'm going to put in the line y equals 0 and x equals 0. Those are my two axes that I'm going to use first of all to translate this, or to reflect. And so now I'm going to use my select tool, and this time I'm going to copy this whole piece here, and I'm going to reflect it through the y-axis. And now I'm going to select the whole of that and reflect it through the x-axis. So I'm going to reflect all of that through there. Oops. Try again. Didn't quite work for some reason, but I'm going to. There we are. And now I've got a basic diamond pattern there. I'm actually just going to remove all the labels of the points. So now I'm starting to form a design that I'm happy with. You can come up with your own designs. If you go to the website and look at all the different types of tukutuku patterns, there's an endless array of things that you could create on your own. The color choices could be your own as well. And once you get used to GeoGebra, the time taken to make these patterns becomes less and less, because you become more familiar with the tool itself. So what I'm going to do now is reflect. I've just got a few more points to get rid of. Now I'm going to put in two more lines of symmetry. So I'm going to go y equals 2 and y equals -2 or -2. And I'm going to use those now to reflect. I'm going to select the tool here. I'm going to take the first piece at the top here, so that piece there, and I'm going to reflect it through this line here, and we can see what happens. And then I'm going to take the bottom piece and reflect it. So I'm going to now take this piece down the bottom that hasn't been reflected yet, and I'm going to reflect it through there. I'm actually going to undo that because I didn't quite get what I wanted. So I'm going to select that. And you've got to make sure that you've got all the piece that you want to reflect highlighted. Now I'm going to reflect it through this. And I've now basically got my tukutuku design, and I'm just going to take a little bit of time now to go back and remove all the points. So I'm going to remove all of these points. I don't want them showing up because I'm going to do a couple more reflections, and then basically I'm done with this particular design. And this is, as I said, is just an illustration of how you can use this to make a tukutuku pattern using, and as it says in the class notes, this is, you have to hand in one of these tukutuku designs on an A4 piece of paper as part of your assessment package. I will also get you to put your names on it, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And then we can do ko-fi-fi patterns, we can do Escher type drawings, and hopefully this just gives you the idea of what's going on here. So I'm going to technically I should save this. In fact, I will save this. You should save all the time. Experience tells me that the more often you save, so I'm going to call this tukutuku1, and I'm going to save it to my desktop. You would save it online in your and we're almost there. And then I'm going to do reflection through 4 more lines. I'm actually going to remove some of these lines that I've already got on here as my reflections lines, or mirror lines. I should really call them, because that's what they are in this particular case. So just be patient here while I get rid of these, and then I'll finish it up with the last couple of transformations, reflective transformations. There we are. Now, as I said, I'm going back up to the top, and I'm just going to unhighlight these lines. They're still there if I want to use them again. But I'm going to put in 4 new lines, and I'm going to go first y equals 5. I'm going to do y equals minus 5. I'm going to do x equals minus 5. And I'm going to do x equals 5. So that makes a square around that. I'm now going to highlight each of those areas, or the center area here, and I'm first going to reflect that through this line here. So I might have to do that again. There we are. Then I'm going to highlight again. I'm going to reflect that through this line here. And then I'm going to take that whole piece I'm just going to move this whole thing. This may take a little bit of time just to move it where I want it. Now I'm going to reflect the whole pattern above and below, and then I'm done. I'm going to leave the removing of all the dots until I've done that. So I'm going to go there, I'm going to go there, I'm going to highlight all of this right to that end, and I'm just going to click on this line. I'm just going to wait a little bit because it might take a while for it to okay. It's just taking, yeah, it just took a while to process it. And then I'm going to do the same again. And I'm going to highlight the same area. And I'm going to reflect it above. And then I'm done. You just got to be patient here. We're asking it to do a lot of work here. So we've just got to be a little bit patient to let it process and put in what it is doing. There we are. So now I've basically got my tukutuku design, and the final thing I have to do is just do the tedious part. I've got to go through and unhighlight all of these. I can take out the grid and the axis lines. I could probably try and color in the background of this if I wanted to. So I'm going to stop here with the video because basically I've got my basic design. I'll zoom out a little bit just to let you see what the final design looks like. And then I will finish up